we go. We are racing. Double file towards the first turn.
She ain't mine, but she looks fine. Gonna take some time, gonna make her mine, gonna make her mine. I'm the man, I got the plan. When it hits the fan, do all I can, do all I can.
Pace car going down into the pit lane. And we are racing. McGregor has a little bit of a jump there. Brooks is staying with him.
She drives me wild, and she looks in my eyes. Hell yeah! I don't care, it's a double dare. I ain't scared, you best beware, you best beware.
And there we go. Stackley hits the gas. There we go.
So just sit tight, so just sit tight. When she lets her hair down, she drives me wild, and she looks in my eyes. She's in the groove now, gonna make her mine. I've got to move now.
So, the number 8 of Admiral is going around. Let's because Bruno is getting racy towards Stackley right now. He's trying to put that nose on the inside. He ran into the back of Shirley there and scuffed the wall a little bit. That cost him a little bit. Oh, and as we speak, the 93 touches him on the rear end. No yellow, though. We're still rolling. Oh, and then the 12 hits him again. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, we're back at it again. It's Kyle Steckley. Holding up there the leader, and the 75 of Thomas McGregor is going to the inside. He may benefit from that. Steckley is not having it yet. He's forced to the higher line here. The 75 of McGregor has got a little bit more momentum off the turn. They're side by side. Steckley taking it here. He's bringing it home in first place. McGregor is bringing it home in second, and it's Kevin Dick in third. Good evening, welcome to the Saskatchewan Stock Car Championship. You just saw a little bit there of the race we had last week on USA International Speedway. This week is going to be a totally different ball game. We are on dirt at Lanier Speedway, and we are in the final moments of practice, and we should be going over into qualifying anytime soon right now. It looks like we have another minute and a half. And let's take a quick look at tonight's race format. We are looking at qualifying, and I see that I made a little mistake on that visual there. It's actually 3 laps that they're going to do for qualifying with a maximum of 5 minutes. Then we're going to do heat races, and we might have enough cars to be doing 3 heat races instead of 2. Heat races will be 12 laps, and the yellow laps will not count in the heat races, but there is a time limit of 15 minutes per heat race. And then after the heat races, we will move on to the feature. The top 6 positions for the feature will be inverted, so the pole sitter will be on the 6th position, and so on. Feature will be 75 laps, and the yellow laps in the feature will count. So the way I understand it, most of these drivers are not regular dirt drivers, so for most of them it's going to be a whole new thing tonight. And I've been watching practice a little bit, and it's very obvious that some of them are struggling and some of them are not struggling and doing quite good. So let's take a quick look at the point standings. We've had 2 races in our championship, and after 2 rounds we have Kevin Dick in the lead with 84 points, ahead of Thomas McGregor with 82. Brooks and Murnau have 81 points. Then it's Kelly Admiral 75, Shirley 72, Just 68. Naismith has 66. And Carson Nagy 65, Tom Craig 59, and I put Carl Steckley in there. He's 15th. He missed the first race, but he won the second one, so that puts him in contention to be one of the top runners, I would say. So we are actually getting ready to start qualifying at this point. You're looking at McGregor in the 75 car going out here to set his first lap. Qualifying is individual, so it's a little bit looking around to see if we can find anybody. I've got to get my scoring back up here. Nobody has posted a time. Most drivers are out on the track. This is Rick Singer in the 55 car, and it looks like Kyle Stackley in the 24 has posted his first time. 16 seconds 973. See if he can hang on to that provisional pole position here. Tom Craig second, Schneider third, Nagy already dropping to 5th here, and here's Kelly Admiral posting a 17.507. And Thomas McGregor up there in second now. Kevin Dick passing him for second in his qualifying attempt with a 17.171. And it looks like we have 24 drivers that are here for the race. So yeah, it looks to me like we're going to have 3 heats before we get to the feature. See if we can find any other drivers here. Ryan Thompson finishing up in 5th position as right now for qualifying.
All right, Mark, I'm back out of the booth here. Looks like you got things rolling, hey?
Yeah,
how's it going up there?
We got started here. We're checking out some of the guys qualifying. It looks like Kyle Stackley has put it on the provisional pole here. He's the only one so far going underneath the 17-second mark. So Wally Wilson, the 25 car. I don't believe I've seen Wally before. You may correct me if I'm wrong there, Jordan.
No, he's brand new from about 5 minutes ago. So we got about 5 new drivers in the field tonight. I don't know the names off heart because we kind of went through them quickly, but he is a new driver.
Yeah, I've seen several names I haven't seen before, and I think this one here, Colton Everingham, is one of them, in a beautiful livery here with one of our favorite beers. Tom Craig, we've seen him before. And further in the back, I think we have Brian Morrison. I'm not sure if I've seen him before, not in this livery anyway. So,
oh yeah, he's new as well.
Yeah. So at the top of the list, we have Stackley, Wally Wilson, Kevin Dick, Thomas McGregor, Ray Murnau, Ryan Thompson, Matthew Shirley, Sam Howlett, Carson Nagy, and it'll be. Next up is waiting for who's in the first heat and who's in the second. Is there a system that determines that, or is that just luck of the draw, Jordan?
No, I think it does go by qualifying, so I think it staggers them. So the fastest qualifier will be in Heat 1, second fastest qualifier will be in Heat 2. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe that's true.
Okay, I do believe you have some noise on the background there, if I'm hearing that correctly.
That's my bad. I was trying to watch a NASCAR race in the background.
Trying to multitask here, are you? All right, it looks like we have a little bit less than a minute waiting for qualifying to end. And as far as I can see, everybody has posted a time, 24 drivers. So the first group will be starting shortly. Kyle Steckley will be on the pole position for that first group.
Well, and just to kind of give the fans a heads up of how we're going to run this is that we do have the ability to work in the track after the heat races and qualifying. So what we're going to do is these guys are going to come out qualifying with about 25% wear on the track, and the heat races will start with 5% wear, and then we'll get the track crews out and rework it for a fresh track for the feature.
Well, they're going to need it probably, because it looked like in practice we've had a good over 2-hour practice session, and that track was getting pretty rough, as you were telling me.
Yeah, it was really slicked out, and I know guys were trying to run the bottom, but there was a lot of off-throttle time, and the guys were running the fence, and it did create a nice cushion up there, but if you jump the cushion, you're in trouble on the fence.
All right, looks like cars are starting to grid up here, and having a little technical issue here with scoring, but we'll get it figured out here. There we go. We'll have Kyle Steckley on the pole position, and alongside him is Thomas McGregor in the 75. Then it's the second row inside Matthew Shirley, outside Kelly Admiral, third row Neil Schneider and Jeremy Brooks. Fourth row, Ernie Ludwig, and Kurt Sanger, I think, is taking the place of Rick tonight. And then it's Jordan, you were supposed to be down there, but obviously you're not.
No, I'll be up in the booth tonight. I ended up joining as a racer instead of a broadcaster, so that was my fault.
So for those watching on the top left of your screen, you'll be looking at some scoring. The scoring software is not yet updated on this heat racing, so it'll take at least one passing of the start-finish line before we get to see the correct order. And you may also see some jumping around of names in there doing those yellow laps because they're not counted. That software gets a little bit mixed up, so we'll try to get you through it there. My scoring on the side is working correctly now, so let's hope we don't have any problems there. So 8 cars in this first heat, and obviously we're going to have to wait until iRacing is very, very sure that Jordan's not going to be there before we get started. Kyle Steckley, as you remember, winner of last week's race, and looking good again for tonight.
And just a reminder to fans that we do not count the caution laps. I'm not sure if you mentioned that earlier in the heat races, but we will count the caution laps in the feature.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that as far as the scoring on the left of your screen, it might be a little bit confused with not counting those yellow laps, but names will jump around a little bit, but it'll get sorted out once we get going. So drivers are already swaying their cars a little bit, trying to find out where the grip is. As Jordan mentioned, the Trek usage has been brought to 10%, so it's not completely fresh, but it's not completely wore out either. So 2 laps to green on short ovals like this. The pickup truck leading the pack. Stackley in front alongside with McGregor. And let's see how this first heat race is going to turn out. Like I said, most drivers not always on dirt. There we go. We're running. Steckley taking the lead. McGregor in second. Steckley's trying to keep that car low, and McGregor is running the high side. Let's see if we can take a little bit bigger distance here to see where those guys are running. Steckley taking a couple of car lengths on the other guys now. Shirley moving into second place in the number 12 car, and McGregor staying on that high side. The 53 of Jeremy Brooks is on that low side as well, and it looks to me at this point that the lower side is showing a little bit more grip, and we see Thomas McGregor trying out that lower line as well, coming back to the inside of Shirley and reclaiming that second position. And up front, meanwhile, it's Steckley that's kind of gone. He's more than 1 second ahead of him. And 53 and the 75 both trying to stay on that lower line. Shirley was a little bit higher and seems to be losing out to Kelly Admiral now, also on the lower side of the track. So it's kind of, the guys are kind of searching for that grip, Jordan.
Yeah, and you'll see if on the broadcast there you can see that you got that real shiny line in the middle, and the guys really try and keep their back wheels out of that. Oh, you got a wreck here.
Yep. It's Kelly coming together with McGregor in the first turn there. Let's see what happened. They were both kind of losing out that backhand a little bit, and Kelly had nowhere to go. It looks like iRacing did not throw the yellow. They were not bothering anybody on the racing line, so Steckley is benefiting from all that. He's way ahead now. It's Jeremy Brooks in second position, about a second and a half behind him. Neil Schneider picked up third position in the 93 car, and running fairly high there as well. And it's Matthew Shirley trying to catch up with Schneider there. He's now in fourth, Ludwig in fifth, Kelly Admiral in sixth, and Thomas McGregor in seventh. And it's Kurt Sanger in eighth position. And it looks like Kurt's struggling a little bit in the high up in the dirt there.
Like I was saying, I think you're going to find the speed is probably lower to middle lane. That high lane's not going to come in to probably lap 50 of the feature.
Yeah, so it's just way too loose up there to have any decent grip then right now, I would say.
That cushion, exactly. That cushion hasn't built up, so those guys can rip the top yet, and you'll see that the moisture is still in the bottom, which allows, like, I know you see Shirley in the 93 battling here. Shirley's going to get a run here because he's running that bottom. Yeah,
it looks like Shirley's on that bottom there, and the 93 running very, very wide. Oh, they almost touched there. They're trying to give each other the room, but it's a little hard to predict where the grip exactly is. It's Shirley now taking third position from Schneider on the inside line, and the 93 still staying up there. Probably,
Looks like we've got a heck of a battle up front here too.
Oh, let's go up there quickly. That's a back marker.
That's
Steckley passing Sanger there, putting a lap on him. And it's Jeremy Brooks in second position. He's still about a second behind Steckley. And it looks like Steckley and Brooks are both now a little bit higher up on that track, but maybe that was just to avoid Sanger. And it looks like Sanger was struggling a little bit here. Saw him touching the wall. You can see some sheet metal damage on that car here. Yeah, he's going left and right. He's in trouble. Oh boy. My bad. We were so busy talking about this race that we barely noticed the checkered flag after 12 laps. We didn't have a yellow. The heat goes so fast, it's unbelievable. Steckley took the win there in front of the number 53. And I once again have to restart my scoring here. That heat racing is throwing it off a little bit. There we go. It's Wally Wilson on the pole position for the second heat. And then it's Ray Murnau alongside him. There they are, and Sam Howlett will be putting his car on the inside of row 2. Colton Everingham is on the outside of row 2, and they're rolling already. Tom Queering in the 46 is on the inside of row 3. Alongside him is Rob Naismith, and then we have the fourth row, Patrick Schurmans and David Rockwood. 2 laps to warm stuff up and 2 laps for the drivers to find that groove and see if they can find some grip here. And I apologize, that 12 lap on that first heat went by so fast we missed a finish.
I think Kyle had that wrapped up anyways.
Yeah, Stackley had that wrapped up, and the 53 was right behind him in second position. Jeremy Brooks. So let's see how the guys in the second group are doing. Murnau looks like he's pretty eager to go. And if I'm correct, he has to stay behind the 25 until that green flag flies. He doesn't want to get a penalty. There we go. And it looks like it's Wally Wilson on the inside here, and the Pabst car of Colton Evernham on the inside of Murnau, taking that second position from him. And well, they're still side by side. Murnau's not giving up. He looks like he gets off the turn a little bit quicker than Evernham, and still side by side for that second position here, almost touching. And it looks like Evernham noses it ahead on the inside of the turn, and then Murnau kind of pulls out of that turn a little bit quicker, noses ahead on the straight, and Evernham just puts it back on the inside again. Now it looks like Murnau has got him, and again, he on the inside line there, he noses that back inside there. Naismith is in fourth, Rockwood is in fifth, Queering on the outside there in the 46, trying to pass Rockwood on the outside, and it's Shermans in the 27 on seventh position, and I'm not sure if we saw Sam Howlett take a start here. Now it's Murnau following Wilson in second position, and it looks like Evernham had a little bit of a problem because he's been passed by Rob Naismith as well. He looked pretty good on the inside for the first few laps, and now he seems to be struggling a little bit. Taking back third position, Naismith in fourth, staying on that high side. Rockwood is behind those two guys, and Queering and Sherman's following. And let's go back up front. Murnau is about 1.1 seconds behind Wally Wilson, the leader of the pack in the number 25 car. Let's go back to Evernham. He's holding on to third here. Naismith running high. Rockwood running high. But it looks like Colton has got it under control. Wilson's... Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I was going to say, and a little bit of a shout out to, I believe we're being streamed at the Doghouse tonight, and Tom Crane, I think, brought his racing rig actually to the bar.
I bet he's going to have a good audience with that. Let's take a look at Rockwood here, and then it's Naismith and Queering. Queering seems to be catching up with Naismith. Ooh, and it looks like he's going a little bit too high up with that rear end and losing too much speed, scrubbing it away. And Naismith is catching on to Rockwood.
Well, and the track does carry over for each heat, so the track will be more worn out for these guys than it was for the first group.
Okay, I was not aware of that. I thought they all started on the same usage, but evidently not. And it looks like Queering has passed Naismith now, and he did so on the high side, it looked to me. So evidently he found some grip on that high side. It works for him. Take a quick look up in front here with Ray Murnau and Wally Wilson. They're about 2 seconds apart now. Evernham fairly comfortably in third position, and Rockwood following in fourth. He's basically left Naismith behind, and it looks like we're going to see a finish flag here for the 25. Wally Wilson wins the heat. Ray Murnau brings it home in second, calling Evernham in third, Rockwood in fourth, Naismith fifth, Sherman sixth, and Tom Queering in seventh position. On to the third heat race.
This heat racing's going by fast tonight. It's nice to see.
Yeah, are we not doing yellows at all, or are they just behaving themselves good enough this time?
I think they're just. I'm watching. My screen is from above, so I basically almost got like a chopper view, so I can see the whole track. And they're racing. They're racing tight, but they're racing clean.
Yeah, it looked like it. I mean, I didn't see anybody. Well, one spin, but they weren't on the racing line. So, third heat, we got Kevin Dick on pole position. Alongside him is Ryan Thompson. Second row is for Carson Nagy and Brennan Forsyth. I hope I pronounced that right. And then the fifth place is for Dean Qualley. And then it's Brandon Feeney in the number 38 car, sponsored by tonight's race sponsor, Rival Electric. And on the final row, it's Jordan Dalsgaard and Brian Morrison. One more lap to green for the final heat.
I still love some of these guys' paint schemes. They're really cool, and you know the 033. That's his actual paint scheme that he runs in real life. So it's pretty cool to see some of these schemes.
Yeah, that's nice. And a lot of drivers. Last time you mentioned that too, though. There's several other drivers that run their real life paints on these cars.
Green flag.
We are racing. It's Kevin Dick taking the lead, and he's being bumped in the back by the 93 of Nagy. Nagy on the inside of him now. Take a little bit wider angle so we can see where the 33 of Ryan Thompson seems to be losing out a little bit on the high side. 93 right there on the tail of Kevin Dick. The 93 is Carson Nagy, being followed by Thompson. Brennan Forsyth in fourth. Brandon Feeney has taken over the fifth position. Yes, let's see if we can figure out what happened here. The 98 and the 17 seem to be involved. Let's back it up here and see if we can figure out what's going on. And it looks like
the 17 just drove it in there a little too hard.
Yeah, but it also looked like the 98 got in trouble a little bit already, and the 17 was not aware of him slowing down. He looked like he had a little bit of a wiggle and touched the car in front of him. So, lining him up behind the pace car now in lap number 2, and the yellow laps are not being scored, so basically the race is neutralized. Kevin Dick leading Carson Nagy in the 93. Third position for Thompson. Fourth is Forsyth. Feeney brings the 38 car up to fifth position, and then it's Brian Morrison in sixth. And it looks like we have Brian Morrison, or Dalsgaard, in the final position, and Dean Quilley in seventh.
Green, green, green.
Green flag flies again, single file restart. The 93 inches that nose right alongside the number 10. Can't get it done just yet. It looks like the top 4 cars are all staying a little bit lower. And Kevin Dick is holding off Nagy. Nagy running very high now. Thompson getting underneath him there in the 033. Oh, those guys are running very smooth lines, it looks like. Thompson having a little bit of a wiggle, trying to get the power down. It's Forsyth in fourth position, catching up to Thompson. And in the back there, it's Brandon Feeney in the Rival Electric car. He's staying on the high side. 17 of Jordan Dalsgaard trying to get to his inside. Up front, it's Nagy running high. It's the 33 of Thompson staying lower, but it looks like Kevin Dick has got this stuff under control. He is ahead, and it looks like Nagy is having a little trouble trying to keep that car down. It looked like Thompson had a little bit of trouble here. He overshot that first part of the turn, got a little too sideways and shrugged away too much speed. And that allows Brennan Forsyth to catch up with him, dive to the inside here for a third position. And it looks like he's getting alongside, trying to push through in the next turns. And Thompson has got it back under control. It looks like he's still in third position, but the fight's not over yet. Forsyth now on the lower line, Thompson on the higher line, trying to stay as low as he can, but obviously he needs to be aware of the car that's on the inside. And it looks like he's got fairly good momentum on that middle line of the turn. So the 28's not quite by there yet. Lap 9. Oh, when they touch, they're not being all that nice.
That's some serious door banging there.
Absolutely. It looked like Thompson was coming down a little bit quicker than the 28 anticipated. He took over third position from him now. In fifth, it's Dalsgaard trying to take advantage of those guys slowing down a little bit. And it's Feeney in sixth. It's Quealy right on his tail there, and Brian Morrison hanging on as well. Let's go back up front and look at Nagy, and Kevin Dick has got this race under control. He's 3 seconds clear of Nagy, so that looks like he's got that in the bag. He'll be looking at the white flag next time by, and Nagy running a little bite. He's safe in second position, it looks like. Forsyth still in third, holding off Ryan Thompson, and Ryan Thompson looks like he's got Jordan Dalsgaard to deal with. And meanwhile, it looks like Kevin Dick is on his last lap. He is going to take the win in this third and final heat. And it looks like Carson Nagy is finishing second, Brendan Forsyth in third, Ryan Thompson in fourth. Jordan Dalsgaard in the 17 car brings it home in fifth. We'll have a short 5-minute warm-up for the guys to get back in the right mindset for the final, for the feature race. They get to warm up their cars a little bit. They get to warm themselves up a little bit. Because obviously the guys from the first 2 heats have been sitting still and talking to the other people at the bar probably. So a couple of minutes to go, 4.5 minutes of warm-up for all the drivers.
Maybe we'll try and bring someone in the booth here just before the restart and see what their thoughts are going into the feature.
Sounds like a plan.
I do think it's going to be an interesting, getting later into the race, how this track ends up wearing out and where the guys will end up finding speed. I was talking to a few of the drivers before, and they think that bottom line is going to be good all race long.
You would expect that bottom line to wear off a little bit, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I think if they're going to be running that bottom line, there's going to be a lot of off-throttle time and a lot of carefulness as that middle wears out really quickly. It's going to be real interesting to see how they move up and down the track, and that's why dirt racing is fun. Is you kind of find different ways to find speed and do the old slide job, things like that.
Yeah, and what I also like about this championship is that you guys are running different cars. You're running dirt and asphalt. Everybody is kind of forced out of their comfort zone at some point, you would think. Although I'm not saying that the guys are good on asphalt would not be good on dirt, but it's not their regular thing, and it's something new. They have to prove themselves all over again.
Yeah, it's definitely Matt Shirley is the one that kind of came up with the schedule, and I kind of jumped in just to kind of help and admin, and it's a real unique way of doing racing, a way of getting everyone into something that either they might like or not like, but kind of like you said, get out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. And you can already tell that they're not afraid of being side by side and getting close to each other. And it looks to me like there's some drivers that kind of favor the lower line, and there's some drivers that favor the higher line, it looks to me.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a little bit of personal preference. I think you're going to find guys that are going to want to search up and down the track trying to find where that speed is. The beautiful thing about iRacing is this track is going to change almost every lap. And so, it might be quicker up high in 3 and 4 and quicker down low in 1 and 2. It's really going to depend where these drivers choose to run, where the dirt gets pushed up into the wall.
Yeah.
Well, and then later in the run, you're going to find that, because there's so much dirt getting pushed against the wall, they'll actually develop what they call a cushion, that is basically a mound of dirt that is right around the corner. That you'll see these guys resting that right rear against that cushion. It's keeping them away from the wall.
I'm looking at the 71 right here, and it almost looks to me like he's trying to prepare that high line for himself.
Yeah, and you can see when he's running that line, it's just all loose dirt right now, and there'll be absolutely no grip up there. And I think he's trying to experiment to see if he can find speed up there, but it's going to be like, I'm not even sure if after 50, 60 laps, if they'll get all the way to the wall. It'll be interesting to find out.
Yeah. Quickest man in the warm-up at this point is Thomas McGregor. He ran a 16.893. It's Kyle Steckley in second, running the second lap time, 16.961. Kevin Dick just over 17 seconds. So it's the same names as last week and the week before that are up there. Carson Nagy ran the fourth time. It's Colton Evernham, new driver on the 48 car, that is in fifth. Jeremy Brooks in the 53 is running the sixth time. And then it's Brandon Feeney, Matthew Shirley, Ernie Ludwig, Neil Schneider, Kelly Admiral, Ray Murnau in 12th. And further down the field, let's see if we can find out. Wally Wilson, I haven't seen him out on the track for the warm-up.
Why don't we see if we can get Carson Nagy into the booth and see what he thinks about this race is going into the future here.
Sounds like a plan. Yep.
All right, Carson, thanks for coming up into the booth here. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I got you.
So what are you thinking this feature is going to be? You guys going to be running the top later in, or is the bottom line going to be the fast lane?
I think at the start of the race, the bottom two lanes are going to be the fast lanes, but as the race progresses, I think it's going to wear out. We're going to have to move our way up to the top again.
All right, we got a little bit of a bad connection, but I think we got there, and I'll move you back into there, and good luck in the race.
Yes, sir. Good luck. All right, so we're getting ready for the feature race. We have Carson Nagy on the pole. Outside of row 1 is Ray Murnau. The second row, Jeremy Brooks and Kevin Dick. Third row, Wally Wilson and Kyle Steckley. And then it's Matthew Shirley and Colton Evernham, Brendan Forsyth and Neil Schneider, David Rockwood and Ryan Thompson on the sixth row. Seventh row, Ernie Ludwig and Rob Naismith. Then it's Jordan Dalsgaard and Kelly Admiral. It's Patrick Shermans and Brendan Feeney on the 9th row. 10th row, Thomas McGregor and Tom Queering. The 11th row, Dean Qualley and Kurt Sanger. And the final row is for Sam Howlett and Brian Morrison. We are getting ready to go. 2 laps to warm it up behind the pace truck. And 75 laps of wild action, and it'll be a crazy race. A track changing all the time, and back markers will be an issue on a 3/8 mile track like this. So we're going to see some big action here. The 93 of Carson Nagy ready to go. Ray Murnau on second position. Brooks in third.
Green flag.
There we go. We are running. And it looks like Murnau got a good jump on him a little bit, but he's on the outside line now. So the 93 of Nagy taking the lead. Ray Murnau in second. It's the 53 of Jeremy Brooks coming down the inside. A little bit of rubbing and bumping going on there. Oh, and we have the number 12 going upside down. We have a yellow. See the number 12 of Matthew Shirley. What happened there? Take that back a little bit further. He's on the lower side. You can see some of the guys, the 25 and the 10. Ooh, and it's just kind of a chain reaction of the 10 being pushed down by Murnau. Hopefully the 12 can get her back in shape and get going again. We have one fast repair, so he should be okay. Pace truck coming out. Number 12 going back into the pits, trying to get that car fixed up. And Jeremy Brooks picked up the lead. Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I was just going to say, I'm not sure. We're having a little bit of a technical difficulty with the restart, so it might be single file restart here. I have changed it, but it keeps wanting to go single file.
So it was supposed to be double file, but it's not it's not doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. It keeps race control keeps telling me that it's single file, and I've switched it twice now. So we'll see what happens. It does. We'll see what happens here. I don't know if they're going to end up. Looks like it's going to be single file, but.
It kind of looks like Carson Nagy was expecting it to go double file as well, the way he's lining up. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. And it is single file indeed. Jeremy Brooks is in the lead. It's Carson Nagy in the 93 in second position. It's Wally Wilson in the 25 on the lower side, and it looks like he gets alongside Nagy and takes second position away from him. Nagy fighting back on the high side. It looks like 25's got the edge on him there. On the lower side, it's the 24 of Kyle Steckley following, and he's loose in the back end, it looks like. Now he gets underneath Nagy and takes third position away from him. And it looks like Kevin, Dick, and we have another yellow. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on.
Looks like Rob Naismith got into it with someone there in the back.
Yeah, it looks like damage. Let's back it up here a little bit. That's Naismith into 71 there, with Admiral behind Thompson. And see what's happening. Admiral going underneath him, and that's actually the 71 can't stay high enough, and it's Admiral cutting along him, along his nose, turning him around and putting him in the wall.
Yeah, and that's some of the experiences. If I know we ran 2 practice sessions this week, and if you didn't get in the practice sessions, you're not going to quite know how these cars feel coming off the corner, and as the corner gets slicked up here, it's going to get interesting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I have not done any races on this kind of track and car, but I've practiced with it, and it does appear to me that sometimes you think it's going to go some way, and it just does something else. It has a mind of its own sometime.
Yeah, that, when it gets shined up, and that track is almost like glass out there once it gets shined up, so it'll be interesting to see how the guys make that work.
It looks like we are double file this time, and it's Wally Wilson kind of surprising Jeremy Brooks. It looked like Jeremy was a little bit late on the throttle there, but he does get underneath the 25 now. 25 coming right back at him, fighting for the lead. Jeremy Brooks and Wally Wilson. Right behind him, it's Kyle Steckley and Ray Murnau. It's the Steckley in the green car, Murnau in the orange car, the 03. Murnau now on the low side, trying to take third position from Steckley. And up front, it's the 25 and the 53 battling door to door for the lead. Walson now taking it from him. Jeremy Brooks diving down to the inside again.
Yeah, we got a big wreck on the front stretch there. In the back, I think it's the front stretch.
Let's see what we can find out here. Back it up a little bit further. Yes, up there. And then there's actually 2 wrecks, one in the middle of the pack and one on the end of the pack. Yeah, it looked like Ludwig was involved in the back end. Oh, it's the 93 that's going around, and he's taken several cars with him. The 26 and I think the 28 all involved. Back that up one more time. Here we go. The 93 is getting in trouble. Kind of washes up too much, touches the 93, and then takes the 28 around, and the 26 has no place to go. Unfortunate. Under yellow. Yeah, go ahead.
We did, like you said, I did have a fast repair, which might save a few of these guys. And explain to the fans, a fast repair allows these guys to get one new car throughout the race, and that's only one. So they can use it right away, or they can use it mid-race, or they can use it when they've totaled their car. And these cars will take a beating. But
yeah, all they have to do is go into the pit, and it'll be instantly a brand new car. So one time, the drivers can use that. All right, we're back at racing again. It's Wally Wilson defending his lead from Jeremy Brooks, and Kyle Steckley on the inside there now. with Murnau going on the little bit higher side of Steckley. The Everingham in the 48 is staying with him very good, and it looks like Nagy is staying with him in the 93. We are yellow again. Let's see if we can find out what's going on. Oh, the rival electric car, the 38, looks like he got turned around. See what's happening here. Oh, it's the 93 into the 28, and then the 38 has no place to go. It looks like the 6 was also stuck behind that wreck there, and then it becomes a really big mess.
Yeah, and I'm going to make an executive decision here. We're going to go single file restarts for the next one just to try and get some laps in here.
Yeah, I was going to say that double file might not be the best way to go at this point. Meanwhile, behind the pace car, Wally Wilson in the lead, hanging on to that lead. Jeremy Brooks in second, Kyle Steckley in third, Ray Murnau in fourth, Colton Evernham in fifth position. Carlson Nagy dropped back a little bit to sixth, and then it's Ryan Thompson in the 033. Thomas McGregor, Sam Howlett, and Jordan Dalsgaard are your top 10 drivers. And it shows that Kevin Dick has been in the pit. And Wally Wilson is quick on the gas when the green flag flies. He's taken a little jump there. It's Jeremy Brooks following him. It's Kyle Steckley on the inside. Murnau touching the wall there for a little bit. Colton Evernham has passed Murnau in the 48 car. It's the 93 of Nagy following. And Murnau fighting back. The 48 washing up a little bit. Murnau now on the inside, trying to fight for that position. Let's take a look here quickly at Steckley, who is following Jeremy Brooks. And we have another caution. We need to figure out what's going on. It looks like the 55 and the 98, Dean Qualley and Kurt Sanger. Let's bring it back a little bit further, see if we can find out what's going on. And it looks like the 55 is getting in trouble there, taking the 71 with him. And then he's having trouble getting it in a straight line and pushes the 98 into the wall. It's always, it looks like it's a chain reaction fairly quickly. Once something goes wrong and you can't recover, you're bound to take a few guys with you. Wilson still in front. Wally Wilson. Mixing up his first and his last name. Jeremy Brooks in second, Steckley in third, Murnau in fourth. As you heard Jordan say, we're going to stay on a single file restart. See if that helps. And Kevin Dick has made a pit stop and he dropped back to 14th position. And we are back racing again. Wilson taking a good jump. It's Steckley on the inside trying to get alongside Brooks. And it's Evernham on the inside of Murnau right behind there. And he looks in pretty good shape there. If he comes off the turn well, a little bit too sideways. It's Murnau still edging ahead. It's actually Steckley taking over second position from Brooks. And another yellow. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. The 93 pretty damaged. Let's see what we can find out. It's the 90 getting it too loose. Backhand steps away from him. And he's already fairly damaged. That is David Rockwood. He gets it back in the right direction, but it's not going easy. So back behind the pace car, Wally Wilson. And now Steckley in second place. He's taken that over from Jeremy Brooks. Ray Murnau still in fourth, holding off Colton Evernham. Carson Nagy in sixth, Ryan Thompson seventh, eighth is Thomas McGregor, ninth is Sam Howlett, and Jordan Dalsgaard, your 10th driver. And we'll be going green. It looks like we are going double file.
Yeah, we were having some issues with guys getting caught up, so we're gonna, in terms of getting black flags and stuff like that, so we're gonna try this again.
All right.
Green, green, green.
There we go. It's Wilson up front. It's Brooks on the inside of Steckley, and that looks like it's working. And the 48, and Stackley is getting a little in trouble there because the 53 was coming down on him. Morneau now on the outside trying to gain that momentum. And another yellow. And let's see if we can find what's going on. It's the 12. Back it up just a little bit. It looks like the 93 and the 98 there touching, and those guys are having a hard time. It's not easy to find your right line, and once somebody stands still, there's not much you can do, because once you hit the brakes, you're going to lock them up anyway. So it's difficult to get around those crashed cars for sure.
Well, the track's only slickening up here for these guys, so it's not going to get any easier for them.
It looks like it. Yeah, it's. I mean, some of the guys, especially in the back, look like they're struggling a little bit. No such thing for Wally Wilson. He's doing pretty good. He's hanging on to that lead. It's not easy for him, but Jeremy Brooks back in second place. Kyle Stackley had a little bit of an issue being pinched to the middle of the turn 3 and 4 there, and he had to give up that position. Ray Morneau still hanging on to 4th. And Colton Evernham still in 5th, Carson Nagy in 6th. 1 lap to green, pace truck will be going in. And there we go, it's Steckley now on the inside, hoping to take advantage of that. And Jeremy Brooks on a little bit higher, but he's holding on to 2nd position. Steckley on his inside, taking it over. And still on the inside, Morneau seems to be pushing the 53 there a couple times. Side by side, Steckley takes over 2nd position at this point. And it looks like Brooks, he's got good momentum on that higher line coming off the turn. He's having a little trouble in the middle of the turn. And another yellow. Let's see if we can find out what's the cause of that this time. Looks like the 38. Oh, it looks like the 8 of Kelly Admiral is the one getting us all in trouble here. He's already heavily damaged on the front end. Let's see what happens. He has to kind of get off the gas for the 48. And when you get off the gas running in an angle like that, you're kind of like locking up your back brakes and turning it around as well. So it's not Kelly's fault, it's the 48 that kind of started what was happening.
Yeah, and the thing is when it comes to dirt track racing, there's a real fine line between having too many cars and not enough. And you know, we try and make everyone want to race here, but
yeah,
I think we're gonna, you know, eventually, if our league is growing so much that none of us would have ever guessed we'd have almost 35 potential drivers. So I think we're gonna have to decide if we send some drivers home after the heat races or what, because we want to have some green flag runs here.
Yeah, it can be too crowded on a racetrack, especially on dirt. Wilson hanging on to that lead. Stackley, oh wow, he's locking that car in an angle beautifully. Ooh, didn't even get a full lap in here, I don't think.
And it'll automatically go to single file restarts now because I made them quickie cautions. So hopefully, I guess if this helps, it'll end up making it work.
All right, let's see if I can find out what's going on. That was before the restart even flew. No, I apologize. I can't really find it at this point. Did you catch the number of the cars involved, Jordan?
Sorry, I'm just up in teams or up in the drivers meeting here.
No, I was just hoping if maybe you had car numbers of those involved, because I can't find them. We're going back to the front here, the 1 lap to green. Wally Wilson in front. It's Kyle Steckley now in second. That puts him on the outside. Jeremy Brooks in third. And Ray Murnau still in fourth. And there we go. Little touch between the 25 and the 24. And it's Wally Wilson hanging on to that lead. Kyle Steckley. Ooh, it looks like Kyle got a little bit of a nip from Brooks there, and it looks like this time it's Jeremy Brooks being turned around. Let's see if we can find out what's going on. Yep. This is the restart.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremy just overshot that turn a little bit, and then Murnau can't slow down quick enough for Brooks, and it turns him around. And one thing they also need to acknowledge is that, you know, when you're spun around, and I understand you want to get going as quick as possible. You don't want to lose more than you need to. But when you move and everybody else is coming on to you, the whole field needs to get around. And when you move back and forth to get going, you're causing trouble for a lot of other people. It's bringing Sam Howlett into 69. Beautiful paint job on that car, by the way. He's up to third position now. Kind of quietly worked his way all the way up here, I think. So he'll be on the inside behind the leader. Are we going single file? We're going single file. So Wilson out in front, Steckley in second, Howlett in third, McGregor fourth, Colton Evernham in fifth. There we go. The 25 starting high on that straightaway and then pushing it down. Beautifully going through that turn. Steckley now in second, putting a little distance. It's McGregor stealing third position from Howlett on the inside there. It's the 48 coming with him underneath the 69. So McGregor is now in third. Colton Evernham is taken fourth from Howlett. Howlett's dropping back a little bit. That high side was not working for him. Kevin Dick has moved himself up already to sixth position. And he is being followed by Patrick Shermans in the 27. He's one of the new drivers. Let's go back up to Steckley. Now we're running into back markers. Wally Wilson will have his hands full here. And it's Kyle Steckley trying to take some advantage of that on the inside there. Thomas McGregor in third. It looks like the slower guys are staying high, giving the leaders some room to race. McGregor in third, having to deal with the 38 car of Brandon Feeney. Back up here to Steckley. He's hanging with the leader pretty good. It looks like their track is a little bit clear now. Oh, there we go, another yellow. And let's see if we can find out what was it. It's the 55 turning around in the turn, touching Sam Howlett, and Howlett drops back way down the order. He was doing pretty good. See, that's what I mean. Howlett waits a little bit longer before he gets eagerly going again, and that allows some of the other guys to get by without causing more havoc. Wilson in the lead, Steckley in second, McGregor in third. There he is. Got that car pretty dirty and the front end bent up. Colton Evernham in the 48. He's bent up on all sides by now. Kevin Dick is taking advantage of the mayhem and is back up to fifth position already. Ray Murnau hanging in there in sixth. He's got the 93 back marker between him and Kevin Dick. 1 lap to green. Let's bring it back up here with Wally Wilson and Kyle Steckley. There we go.
Green, green, green.
Wilson on the throttle. Oh, didn't even get a half a lap in this time. Let's go take a look. It's the 69 involved in a crash with the 12, it looks like. Matthew Shirley and Sam Howlett. Let's back it up a little bit further. It looks like it's kind of on the restart itself. Oh, there's other guys standing still. It's the 26. Let me
I think we had an issue on the restart. Guys got turned around even before they went green.
Yeah, it looks like the 26 was trying to get to his correct position. It's actually the 53 of Jeremy Brooks that's in the middle of the pack and got turned around. And let me see if I can back it up a little bit and see what happens. And it looks like they're not lined up correctly just yet. And the 71 touches the 53 before we even get the restart, turns him around, and that was all she wrote.
This has been maybe a little bit of an experiment gone wrong.
You know, it would be nice to get like maybe 10 to 15 laps under green, because we got a good fight at the top here. Wilson and Steckley, their cars are still clean and free of damage. They're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're gonna have the guys at the front battling here, and hopefully we can get a few.
Yeah. Looks like Wilson's got a little bit of a connection issue every once in a while. Steckley hanging with him in second position. Ooh, back marker. That looked like the number 12 of Matthew Shirley that was spinning in front of the leaders. And for some reason it won't let me back that up. It may not have been him. Let me go back to Wally Wilson here and see if I can find out what happened. I think it was a blue car, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't keep track. I literally can see the whole track, and I'm losing track of where these wrecks are happening. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, there was one of the back markers spun around, and Wally had to go very high, and I guess not everybody could avoid that wreck and back under yellow. So let's try this again. Wilson's still leading, though. He's doing good on those restarts too. It looks to me like once he gets the green flag, he goes very much to the outside on the short straight. That way he can arc into the turn and bring it lower before Steckley has a chance to put that nose underneath there. All right, so we're back up front here. One lap to green. Double file, Wilson and Steckley in front. McGregor and Kevin Dick has worked his way back up to 4th position. Ray Monod now in 5th, and Colton Evernham in 6th. And we're back at it. And as you can see here, the 25 starts up high, but this time it looks like Steckley does try to get that nose underneath there. It doesn't work. He loses too much speed, shrubs it away. So he has to deal with the guys behind him now, Kevin Dick and Evernham. They want what he has. Ooh, the 48 goes around, and it's McGregor giving him a little bit of a love tap there. Couldn't stay away from him. Look at the 48 going very wide and gets a little bit of a tap from the 75 and turns it around. Yellow.
Well, the good thing is we only have one green flag checkers.
All right, so we're not going to make this last all night.
Well, at least we'll be home. Or I guess we are in our homes, but at least we won't be doing this all night.
Yeah. Yeah, but I will say though, you know, the little bit of green that we have, the guys up front are doing a pretty good job, and I say Wally Wilson's, he's very, very smooth up there, and Kyle Steckley is too. I'm also amazed with Kevin Dick working his way back through the field all the way from the back after an early pit stop. At some point he was running 15th or something like that, and he's back up there fighting for the win once again. Thomas McGregor has been up in the front there pretty much most of the race, trying to survive, I guess. Carson Nagy back in 5th now. Ray Monod still in 6th. And the 27 of the new driver Patrick Shermans is in 7th, Jordan Dalsgaard in 8th. We are back racing again. Let's see if Wally Wilson can hang on to that lead. He's got a good jump on Steckley here. Steckley on the inside, Kevin Dick right there with him. Thomas McGregor following. Steckley he's got that car under control. Wilson's running very smooth. Steckley does the same thing. It's Thomas McGregor now on the lower side of Kevin Dick, trying to get that position away from him. Side by side to the next turn. Looks like Steckley touched the wall there for a little bit. McGregor on the lower side, Murnau on the lower side. It looks like that lower side is still a little bit better than the high side. Kevin Dick defending hard on the high side, trying to get that momentum off the turn to stay alongside of McGregor. He still has the position. Murnau has taken 5th position now. Carson Nagy is right there behind him in 6th. Let's take a look at Murnau here. Looks like he's cleared Nagy and Brooks at this point. Brooks is fighting his way back into the running order. We saw him get turned around. It's McGregor now fighting with Kevin Dick for 3rd position, and it looks like McGregor... Ooh, there's very little room between these guys. You wouldn't want to be a fly on the side of that car. McGregor now in 3rd position, getting a little tap in the back from Kevin Dick. Murnau is catching up with these guys, hoping to get a piece of it. Ooh, and he overshoots going into the turn, runs it into the wall. He gets it going, no yellow. We get away with that one. And the little bit of green flag racing that we did do brought us all the way to the finish. It looks like Wally Wilson has taken the checkered flag already. I missed that. I was too busy watching the fight for 3rd position. Kyle Steckley in 2nd, Thomas McGregor in 3rd, Kevin Dick in 4th. It's Ray Murnau in 5th. Jeremy Brooks brings it home in 6th. Carson Nagy 7th. Rob Naismith 8th. Shermans in 9th. Lost a few positions on that last few laps there. And it's Brian Morrison in 10th. And let's see the donuts here. Wally Wilson, first time here in the series, brings the 25 Mellow Yellow car home in the 1st position. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, I was just talking to the guys in the room there, and it was a tough race to watch, but I guess things to learn. We're a new league, and we're trying to learn things here, so it's one of those things where we just got to work our way through it.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, the last little stint that we had there, that was the way we were expecting the whole race to be. At least we had some of it, and Wally held them off pretty good. And that last little bit there, I thought was pretty good racing on dirt. It's very close. It's very easy to make a mistake. So yeah, I enjoyed that last little bit. Unfortunately, the finish, the checkered flag came a little bit earlier than I was anticipating. Once the laps go green, it goes pretty quick on a short track like this. So that brings us to conclude this race, and letting you know that next week we're going to do all of this again, not on dirt, but on asphalt on Oxford Plains Speedway in Maine. Same time, different place. We hope to see you there. Let's once again thank our sponsor, Rival Electric. The number 38 car with that sponsorship finished in 19th position. Brandon Feeney was at the wheel. We appreciate their support for this race and for this broadcast. The drivers appreciate it, the administrators appreciate it, and the broadcaster also definitely appreciates this. This has been Blip Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark. We hope to see you back again next week. Thank you, Jordan, for your assistance, and we will see you soon. Hopefully, maybe some other races. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. It was again a pleasure. Thanks for doing it again, and we'll definitely be back. I think we're next week. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I believe the next race is Oxford, like you posted, in
Yes.
the late model, which we've actually raced already once, which will give these guys a chance to do practice Thursday, and they were in a car that they're familiar with.
Yeah, you're right. It's Oxford Plains, short track, and it's a bit of a different track actually because there's barely any walls around the turns. There's only walls on the straights, and there's no wall between the pits and the track. So it makes for interesting racing over there. So next week, same place, same time, same a different place, and we hope to see you all there. Thanks for watching.